Welcome back to Brandon Sports, everybody. Hope you have an amazing day. I'm here to give you guys my SmackDown review for March 20th, 2026. Before we get into the review, guys, please hit that thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more good content headed your way. Now, my overall thoughts about this show tonight was that this show was basically decent in the first hour, but the last 2 hours were really not that good. At the 9 o'clock hour, I found myself bored with this show. I was intrigued to see how they set up the attack with Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu, but nonetheless, that was basically pretty decent. There's one thing I'm going to nitpick, and I want to see if you guys actually noticed it. But other than that, this show was not really that good at all. I'll give it a D plus. I really was gonna give it a C minus, but the last hour really sunk my grade into a D plus again. I really want to come here and be positive about the show, but the last 2 hours kind of basically took everything out of me. It was basically absolutely atrocious, those last 2 hours of SmackDown. Ladies and gentlemen, we are less than 30 days away from WrestleMania. It's the April 18th and 19th. And so far, we have 5 confirmed matches. CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they completely botched their storyline on Monday Night Raw with that terrible promo between each other. Stephanie Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan is not really doing anything for me besides Stephanie Valkyrie's promo work. Even though they're vignettes, she's still doing a good job for what they're giving her, and they haven't really given her much. It doesn't do anything for me. Jade Cargill versus Ripley. I told you guys that Rhea Ripley needed to face Jade Cargill at WrestleMania to give her a great match. And so far, their promo work has been absolutely abysmal between each other, so it's really doing nothing for me. And Open Finn versus Brock Lesnar, we'll see what continues to happen with them. And Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. Randy Orton cut a promo tonight, which we'll get to. But Cody Rhodes was obviously not on the show selling his injuries. But other than that, there are 5 matches confirmed for WrestleMania. And I truly don't care about 4 of them. The only one I care about right now is Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton. This WrestleMania season has been lackluster. It has been a very, very slow and pretty disgusting build from this company. And I just feel like they don't care. And with tonight's show, the last 2 hours being pretty much garbage, and we got nothing out of it besides Randy Orton going on a rampage and Jacob Fatu and Drew McIntyre fighting, we still got nothing. We wasted a lot of time on this show tonight. And WWE having a 3-hour show is continuously wasting their time. So tonight's show was live from Lenovo Center in Raleigh, North Carolina. The show sees WWE Tag Team Champion Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga defend their titles against Damian Priest and R-Truth. Jacob Fatu will face Drew McIntyre tonight. We had a Women's Tag Team Championship match with the Irresistible Forces versus the Bella Twins, Motor City Machine Guns versus Fraxiom, and Randy Orton will address Cody Rhodes, and Kit Wilson will call out Jelly Roll. Yes, that was tonight's lineup. Very, very disappointing show after the first hour. So the show opens up again with no pyro. I know I haven't been saying that in the past couple of weeks, but again, still no pyro. Still the same bland opening of the show. The show opens up with a video package recapping last week's episode of SmackDown, where Randy Orton attacked WWE Champion Cody Rhodes during the contract signing segment headline. Last week, Joe Testo and Willie Barrett welcomes us to the show, and they talk about what Randy Orton did. Joe then says Randy Orton will talk later tonight to explain things. He then mentions the matches announced for tonight. We then see Jelly Roll arriving to the arena, but WWE officials are running outside. We then see a car crash outside, and Drew McIntyre pulls Jacob Fatu from the car windshield and begins hitting him with right hands and slamming him onto the hood of the car. WWE officials then grab Drew McIntyre, and they break it up. Now, the first thing about this segment was you could tell that this was automatically staged. And this is my problem with this company. When they ran out there to see Jacob Fatu in that car, the entire windshield was fake. Drew McIntyre literally took an entire windshield and ripped it off. It looked like paper. This is what they give us. Oh, well, Brandon complaining about something that... How are they supposed to set it up? Break the glass. Pay for it. Do something. If you guys go and watch it and see what I'm talking about, then you're going to say, Brandon, you're right. It looked too staged. It looked too fake. Listen, the thought counts in the segment. But when he pulled off that windshield, it ruined everything for me. That was horrible. I'm telling you guys, I'm not exaggerating how badly it looked on television. I could imagine it in person. But on television, it looked absolutely terrible. And I kind of knew that these guys weren't going to fight this week anyway, have a match. I know it's probably leading into a match at WrestleMania, which everybody can predict it. They haven't announced it yet, which is very, very Basically stupid. But then again, thought that counts in a segment, but the windshield was fake. Oh, who cares? No. If you're going to sell me on something and you want me to suspend my disbelief, don't have paper looking glass and then you pull him out the front of the car and you're basically beating him up and blooding his head. The thought that counts in a segment, but it just didn't look right. It didn't look real at all. Inside the arena, after that, Drew McIntyre makes his way out. McIntyre says the only place he should be wrestling is in the main event of WrestleMania, and that was taken from him. I'm really getting kind of tired of Drew McIntyre's complaining. They continuously have this guy doing the same thing every single week. I understand the beatdown back outside and backstage and stuff like that, but it's the same thing repetitive with Drew McIntyre. I'm quite honestly getting sick of it. McIntyre then gets in the ring and says he is here to fight. Nick Aldis then makes his way out with security. He asks McIntyre what is wrong. Aldis says every opportunity was given to McIntyre. He still acts like a maniac. Aldis says McIntyre talks about being on the way to WrestleMania, but the only way that he's basically going to is unemployment. McIntyre then says he tried to quit, but they would love that. This was bad already. This is bad right here. People think this is good, but this is bad. He says he tried to quit. No, you quit and then you came back afterwards. And then Nick Aldis put you in a match. So this doesn't make sense. McIntyre then says he tried to quit, but they would love that. That doesn't make any sense when you literally said I quit, walked out the building, and came back. That makes no sense at all. It just doesn't make any sense with these promos. They're trying to be edgy, but it's not making any sense. He says, I'm going to repeat it one more time. McIntyre then says he tried to quit. No, you quit and then you came back. And that's why you're putting on the match, because it seems like you didn't quit. Then he says, but they would love that. Who would love that? If you're a general manager, you don't want Drew McIntyre to quit because it brings a lot to the brand, even though you're pissing everybody off. This doesn't make any sense at all. And they just don't even see the flaws in their booking. They don't see the flaws at all, especially in his promo work. McIntyre then says he has a better idea. McIntyre then says Nick's son Donovan should be ashamed of his corporate stooge as a father. Jacob Fatu then makes his way to the ring. He out there. Drew McIntyre throws him into the barricade. Drew then grabs Fatu, but Fatu throws him into the ring post and into the ring steps. Fatu then throws McIntyre on the announce desk. Fatu then places McIntyre onto the announce desk, but the officials break it up. Fatu then walks away. Basically, where the timekeeper's area is, he basically walks away, and then he comes back. He runs and he jumps. I knew he was going to do this. As soon as he went over there and he set him up on the announce table, I said he's going to run and jump up and splash him through the table. And what did he do? He ran, jumped. Something was already there waiting for him. He jumped and splashed through the table. Almost missed Drew McIntyre a little bit, but he did wind up getting him. After that, he goes through the table. Fatu then jumps onto the barricade. He goes to the table. Then Fatu then gyrates and basically does his little shake, shaking his head, doing it real fast, and basically walks away. Again, it was a nice attempt at this segment. I thought it was decent. Was it the greatest thing in the world? No. These two, basically the Samoan werewolf fighting. Drew McIntyre's getting his revenge. Okay, fine, you're going to set up for WrestleMania. But there's a lot of holes to poke in this segment. The thought that counts, that's why I'm not really going in as much as I want to. Because it's like, oh, you're going to nitpick the whole entire thing. No, I'm not. But the problem is that screen glass looked fake. And Drew McIntyre's promo had holes in the promo. But it was still a decent angle. I'm not going to criticize it too much. It was still decent. And then this is where the show kind of was still riding its wave. But just the people in the ring that I truly just didn't care about. So this basically, Damian Priest and R-Truth make their way down to the ring for the first match of the night. And MFT follows. The Y6 basically came out and basically distracted the entire MFT'S. After the distraction, R-Truth hits an AA, and Damian Priest and R-Truth are now tag team champions. I wasn't going through that match because I don't care about the MFT'S. I told you guys for weeks, I'm getting sick of the MFT'S being together. I want Tonga and basically Tonga Low to be together and just be a tag team, and just have Sol Sikoa be on his own, and Hikuleo and JC Mateo. I don't know what they're going to do with those guys. Again, I don't see anything in Hikuleo. I'm not calling him Tala Tonga. I'm not doing it. Or Tonga La Tala, whatever his name is. I'm not calling him that. There's no disrespect to these guys, by the way. I don't want nobody losing their job. Nothing like that. But I just don't care about Hikuleo and JC Mateo. I don't care about Jeff Cobb. I'm tired of calling him JC Mateo. I don't see what they're going to do with Jeff Cobb. And Hikuleo, he's too big to basically put anybody over. And I just don't think they know what to do with these guys anymore. The MFTs and the Y6 storyline has been going on for so long, and it's still going on because Solo Sikoa still has his damn lantern. This story is completely tiring and it's old. And so they put the tag team titles of Damian Priest and R-Truth. Damian Priest and R-Truth having the tag team titles does nothing for me. Now, what you going to say? Well, Brandon, in your SmackDown reviews, you've been saying do something with Damian Priest and R-Truth. I didn't say put the tag team titles on these guys. Come on, man. Seriously, what is Carmelo Hayes doing at WrestleMania? If they're not going to have Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes, what are they doing with Carmelo Hayes United States Championship at WrestleMania? I hope it's not a multi-man match because that's lazy. And I hope it's not Ian Dragunov because that's lazy. And I hope it's not Sami Zayn because that's lazy. It needs to be Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. Damian Priest and R-Truth, listen. Damian Priest looked shocked when they won the match. So he basically did a good job selling his emotions. But I don't care about this. It's no disrespect. I know you're going to say, well, you complain about everything. Yes, I do. I do. Because Damian Priest is much better than this. This is why I got on AJ. Remember when AJ Styles and Dragon Lee were a tag team and I said, no, please don't do this? I like R-Truth a lot. Maybe this is his last run. Maybe this was his last run. They gave him tag titles, going to WrestleMania with it. Him and Damian Priest could defend him, have a fun moment, and then that's it for R-Truth. I don't know what they're going to do with R-Truth. But after this run is over, please let Damian Priest get back to being serious, man. He could be babyface, but just give him something. Maybe if Randy Orton wins the WWE Championship at WrestleMania, it could be Damian Priest versus Randy Orton for the WWE Championship at Backlash or something like that. Give them a feud. Let Randy Orton be a bastardly heel, and Damian Priest is basically going to defend Cody Rhodes, quote unquote. I guess you could say that. But give Damian Priest something after this run. But him and R-Truth being tag champions just goes to show you why this division is as bad as it is. The Lucha Bros would have been perfect for this spot, but they gave Penta the IC title even though it was not time to put the belt on him. It should have stayed on Dominic Mysterio. I don't give a damn about Danhausen's cursings. And it should have been Dominic Mysterio versus Finn Balor for the IC title because there's story behind it. We don't need a multi-man matches, and this company is, to me, is considered lazy. The only multi-person match that is not being lazy on this year's WrestleMania is the women's tag team titles, which it seems like we're going to get the Bella Twins versus the Irresistible Forces versus Bliss and Charlotte Flair versus another tag team. I think it should be if Roxanne Perez and Raquel Rodriguez, if Roxanne Perez gets back in time for whatever she's dealing with. That's the only multi-man match that I care about. Other than that, or multi-woman match, that I care about. Other than that, I don't care anything about I don't want to see any multi-person matches. And that's exactly what they're going to do with the IC title, which makes no sense. These tag team titles, I bet you they probably never get defended at WrestleMania. Truth is told. I just don't care about this. This tag team division is just very, very poor. Do something different with Damian Priest. He's a former world champion, and because you guys have nothing to do with him, you put him in a tag team. This is not what people wanted. No disrespect to Damian Priest. I love Damian Priest. I like R-Truth a lot. I love R-Truth, actually. Great person, great personality, but I'm tired of the goofiness, the fun and games. I want R-Truth to be serious on his last run, and I just feel like we're just never going to get the round killings that we were supposed to get when he cut his dreads off. I've spent too much time on this topic. Damian Priest and R-Truth are your new tag team champions. This division is completely dead. There's nothing good about this division. We then see Kathy Kelly backstage with the Bellas and ask if they will win the tag team titles. Brie says people should not underestimate them. Bliss and Flair then show up with ice cream, and Charlotte says they jumped in line for a title match, and that is selfish. Charlotte then says they won't interrupt their match tonight because they don't want to be in the center of attention, and they get next. The Bellas then invite them to watch the match to see what real legends do. That's what Nikki Bella said to Charlotte Flair, and then Brie took Alexa Bliss's spoon out of her ice cream, and then Charlotte Flair puts the spoon into her ice cream and says everything is fine. I don't know what they're doing. At this point, they're just throwing feces at the wall. I don't know what they're doing. I like Charlotte Flair in her role. I do not want Charlotte Flair to be a heel for the next couple of years. I don't want Charlotte Flair nowhere near being a heel. If they have to turn Bliss heel, I'd rather deal with that. Charlotte Flair needs to remain a babyface for however long that she can. It's pretty amazing that she's basically over as she is as a babyface because everybody hated her as a heel. I like Charlotte Flair a lot. Keep her as a babyface for now. As far as these matches, I told you guys, here's a spoiler alert. I told you guys that interference is going to happen, and by them allowing them to be invited to ringside, I already knew that they were going to interfere in this match. Just by inviting them, the Bellatons inviting Bliss and Flair to the ring, I already knew what was going to happen. I told you guys last week too. That's what I really want to come in and say. I told you guys last week that when this match was being made, that they are going to interfere next week. Spoiler alert, yes, there you go. They interfere because this company just doesn't know how to book anything. We then see Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano backstage. Danhausen shows up to remove the curse, and he asks for $20. Danhausen then disappears. Alex Shelley then shows up, and Chris Sabin reminds them of their match. And as they're walking out, you can literally see Danhausen running the opposite direction to get out of the camera shot. He's basically running, trotting. Like you could. I'm like. So they basically came out the camera shot too early, but who cares? I don't really care about the segment at all. Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, to me, that's like, get off my TV. I don't really want to see this. Johnny Gargano just laying there. I don't care about Johnny Gargano. I told you guys, he has no character. This is not 2018. Nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about Candice LeRae. I don't care about none of these people. The Motor City Machine Guns, since they lost the WWE Tag Team titles last year, are a complete joke in this company. And to me, they should just went to AEW. And Johnny Gargano, if I was him, I would ask to go to AEW and go be with Tommaso Ciampa and go face FTR and AEW and take Candice LeRae with you. Johnny Gargano, this is absolutely boring. There is nothing good coming out of this. There's nothing good comes out of this. And as far as Danhausen goes, I just truly don't care. He's getting a nice pop, but I don't care about any of this. We then get a video package of the WWE Universe reacting to Randy Orton's actions. And this is where I roll my eyes. And I'm just like, man, are we really doing this again? Are we really giving Sami Zayn TV time? Seriously. I'm going to tell you guys why I dislike this Sami Zayn storyline so much. After I get done reading this to you guys, I'm going to tell you why I despise this Sami Zayn storyline. We then get a video package of WWE Universe reacting to Randy Orton's actions. Kathy Kelly then asks Sami Zayn about what happened last week. Sami says he should be focused on his match with Aleister Black. But then he cannot stop thinking about Cody Rhodes and what he's going through. Sami then says you have to say that Cody tries to be good and he goes the extra mile. Sami then says to see Cody stretch it out in a pool of his own blood. Sami then says Randy does what he does and he looks up to Randy. Stop right there. Right there at that point when he says Randy does what he does and he looks up to Randy, I already know he's turning heel. I already know he says I look up to Randy, so whatever he did to Randy Orton, I look up to Randy Orton. Even if he does something evil, he still says, I look up to Randy Orton. Which means that he's been going to a bad guy. And this is where my frustration with this show starts to mount up here. This says he look up to Randy Orton. After that, he says, Sami then says he doesn't know what to make of it. Yes, you do, because you just said you looked up to the guy who basically did something evil. Sami then says the more he tries to do things the right way, the more it falls apart. Sami then says the world he believes in just doesn't exist. Trick Williams then shows up. And he brings up that he beat Jacob Fatu last week. He then says, the look on your face hurts. Sami then tells Trick they have been doing a lot of talking lately, but maybe they should do something. Trick then says if he has time, he's going to check his Palm Pilot. He will check out Sami's match and give him some pointers. Sami then laughs at Trick's suggestion, and he tells Trick to get a real good look. I don't care nothing about this. I want Trick Williams as far away from Sami Zayn as possible. I told you guys, I want Trick Williams to face Carmelo Hayes for the United States Championship at WrestleMania. Now here, let's go back to Sami Zayn in this promo. The reason why I don't believe Sami Zayn in this promo, and you guys need to help me out on this, please, I beg of you. Put it in the comment section down below. Sami Zayn was a heel in 2023. He was a part of the Bloodline, and the Bloodline stable was a heel in 2023. At the Royal Rumble, that's when he turned on Roman Reigns. I wish that we can stop acting like Sami Zayn doesn't know what it's like to do the wrong thing. This is not a Jeff Hardy story where Jeff Hardy's a babyface his entire career and he turns heel. This is not that. When he did that Bound for Glory back in 2010. This is not that. Sami Zayn knows how to be a bad guy, and it's insulting to our intelligence that we sit up here and act like Sami Zayn wasn't a heel 3 years ago. We act like it's not an insult to our intelligence. That's like Kevin Owens being like, I don't know what it's like to be a heel. I'm basically going through so much right now, and blah 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 blah. We've seen Sami Zayn do low down dirty stuff with the Bloodline. We've seen this since 2022. So trying to sell me on a storyline about Sami Zayn, oh, it's so hard to struggle and fight, and the way I built up being such a good guy, I'm not buying it. It's not good storytelling when the guy was just a heel 3 years ago. It's not good storytelling at all. And I want Trick Williams as far away from Sami Zayn as possible. Please. The United States Championship needs somebody, because it certainly doesn't need Ian Dragunov. Please put Trick Williams and Carmelo Hayes in a tag team, a United States Championship match. Please, for the love of God. Tell the story. We are less than 30 days from WrestleMania, and this is what we're getting. And by the way, before I end talking about this promo segment, the crowd was booing Sami Zayn. Why? Because they see right through his horse crap. They see right through Sami Zayn. They see through this guy. And we all see it. We know you know how to be a bad guy. This is not good storytelling, and it's not good writing. Oh, Sami Zayn's intriguing. No, he's not. No, he's not. Even the crowd's like, boo, get this guy out of here. And the type of boos that he's getting, Randy Orton turned heel. Randy Orton is getting cheered every time he comes out. Every time he appears on TV, he's being cheered heavily. Sami Zayn is getting booed out of the building, and you can hear the boos after he's talking on his promos. Why? Because people are not buying what he's presenting, and they're not buying the storyline. I spent way too much time on Sami Zayn again. Please keep Trick Williams away from him. Nathan Frazer and Axiom, they come out to the ring to face the Motor City Machine Guns. I don't care nothing about this match. This match was boring. I don't care about anything about it. Candice LeRae punched Frazer, and then Sabin gets the pin. This match was a nothing match. Again, the tag team division needs to be booked better, but when you have guys that haven't been on TV in weeks, or they've been doing backstage promos and segments, and they wrestled 2 matches on SmackDown, 2 or 3 matches since November of last year, how am I supposed to invest in the Motor City Machine Guns? How am I supposed to invest in this tag team when you're putting them with Candice LeRae and Johnny Gargano, who you just have a guy laying on a crate? I don't care anything about this. Motor City Machine Guns win. They have been completely derailed in this company. We then take a look back at what happened on the first part of SmackDown. After that, we then get a look at Randy Orton at the accident scene. Look what happened as he walks to the building. We then take a look at the ending of Monday Night Raw between CM Punk and Roman Reigns, which is absolutely terrible, so we're going to skip past that. Randy Orton music hits. He makes his way down to the ring. Orton then enters the ring, and he pulls a dented chair from the timekeeper's area and grabs a microphone. Orton then places the chair in the ring, and he has a seat on it. Orton says for years, when his entrance music hit, everyone would sing along. Orton then says what a feeling that is. The love that they show him, and he tries to return it. Orton then says he gives the fans high fives. He signs action figures and replicas and titles. Orton then says he will see a kid on his birthday and wish him happy birthday. Orton then says the love that he shows them, that he gets back, and that he puts a smile on his face. That smile is the emptiest feeling that he has felt in his entire life. Orton then says he has been doing this a long time, longer than most, but the reality is that nothing lasts forever. Orton then says he doesn't want his legacy to be smiles and he puts on their faces. He wants legacy by how many world championships gold he wanted, that he basically put around his waist. Orton then says not too long ago he won Elimination Chamber and he was going to fight Drew McIntyre for the title. Orton then says he knew that he can be who he needed to beat Drew. Orton then says, but when Cody won, he didn't know if he can be who he needs to beat Cody Rhodes. Orton then says he loves Cody Rhodes like a brother, but last week Cody took the burden off his chest. Orton then says Cody took the weight off his shoulders when he told him that he needed him to be the best version he can be. Orton then says he needs him to be the Viper and to listen to the voices. Orton then says the problem with listening to the voices is that he is not always in control. Orton then says sometimes things can happen, sometimes he gets hurt, and just like anyone else, but he needs that killer instinct. Orton then says he needs to add number 15 to his legacy. Orton then looks at the WrestleMania sign and says that he will do it with the 3 most dangerous letters in all of entertainment, RKO. Orton then says he hears a voice in his head. They counsel him, they understand, they talk to me, and they will tell me that he is going to beat Cody Rhodes. Orton then says the voices tell him that he will beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Orton then says they tell him that he is going to beat Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship, and he's going to do it in the main event of WrestleMania. His music plays. We then take a look back at WWE Hall of Famers, the Bella Twins. That was a really, really good promo by Randy Orton, basically explaining why he did what he had to do. And basically Cody Rhodes lifting that burden off his shoulder. Basically listen to your voices in your head and do what you need to do. And so Randy Orton took it upon himself to do what he has to do. Now, is Cody Rhodes going to feel that way? That's a different story. But I think Randy Orton sitting down and actually explaining what he did and being the menacing heel that he was is just a starting point to his heel run. And maybe at WrestleMania, he wins the WWE Championship. I thought this was really good by Randy Orton just to sit down and explain, even though it's promo, and all these storylines is nothing but promo, I'll give him this because they promoted it as he was going to explain what he did, and I thought he really did a good job in explaining what he was going to do. Now, I would have darkened the lights a little bit more and put him in total darkness and put the light on him, the spotlight on him inside the ring, and just left it as that. But again, I thought his explanation was well put. I had no problem with this segment at all. I think this was one of the best segments of the night of him explaining why he did that to Cody Rhodes. Now, besides, obviously, they take a look back at the Bell of the Hall of Fame. That's fine. This is where it goes downhill. We then see Randy Orton walking backstage, and he stops in front of Matt Cardona. Cardona asks Orton, what was that last week? And he says he knows Orton wants the title. Orton then gets angry and tells Cardona that he has the nerve to speak to him like that. Orton then asks Cardona if he has any action figures to go play with. Now, that was a great line. Orton then hits Cardona with the right hand and tells him to stay out of his business, and he wouldn't understand. Now, here's my problem with this entire promo, or backstage segment, rather. Why is Matt Cardona involved? Why is he a part of this? Because he's friends with Cody Rhodes? That's not explained on television. This is not AEW back in 2022 or 21, where Matt Cardona makes a rare appearance in AEW, comes into the ring and saves Cody Rhodes. This is not that. This is years and years later. Why is he concerned with Cody Rhodes? They didn't explain the story that they're somehow good friends. I don't understand this. I told you guys, by the way, so you guys out there who wanted Matt Cardona back in WWE, I told you guys they were going to sign him, put him in the company. He's going to get his United States Championship run probably towards the end of the year. And I told you that they were going to do nothing with him. I told you guys this was going to happen. And look what happened. They brought him in. He's getting paid. No disrespect. He's getting paid. Him and his wife is getting paid. Good for them. But I told you guys when he first came back as Matt Cardona that they were not going to use him at all. And so far they not used him. And they basically fed him to Randy Orton tonight. I told you guys. Because why? Because they don't know how to book him and they just lazy. They just don't know how to book at all. After that, we get Aleister Black and Zelina Vega make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night against Sami Zayn. The lights go out and Trick Williams makes his way down to the ring to a loud pop. And by the way, when he interrupted Sami Zayn's promo, he had a loud pop. He got more of a louder pop than Sami Zayn because Sami Zayn was getting booed. And by the way, throughout this entire match, because I'm not going through the whole entire match because I just didn't care about it, Sami Zayn was getting booed. He was trying to get the crowd back up, and he's, yeah, come on, everybody, trying to pump the crowd up, and they are booing him. And that's what he gets, and that's what the company gets for trying to continuously keep pushing that he's some underdog story when he's literally won every single championship in the company except for the 2 world titles. He's not an underdog. The underdog is a person who doesn't win, who hasn't won in years, who's not going to get anything. Cody Rhodes won the IC title in WWE. He won tag team gold in WWE. But when he came back, he was the underdog. Why? Because he didn't get to finish his story in the company, first off, and second, he returned to the company and he didn't have any belts around him. Sami Zayn main evented WrestleMania. He main evented Night 1 WrestleMania, and I know that's before CM Punk got there, but think about it. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn main evented WrestleMania before CM Punk ever got a chance to. Sami Zayn is not an underdog anymore. He's just not. He main evented WrestleMania. He's been IC champion. He was United States champion. He won both the Raw at the time, Raw and SmackDown tag team championships. He's not an underdog anymore. That underdog story with Sami Zayn is long gone. And this is where it kind of gets even more nauseating with Sami Zayn. Trick Williams is sitting on a chair. He has his feet up, his lemon pepper steppers, on the announce desk. Sami goes to the floor and pushes Trick Williams' feet off the announce desk as Sami sends Black into the announce desk. After that, Sami sends Black back into the ring and Trick Williams throws his beverage on Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn then thinks about returning into the ring. He's paused for a moment, and he turns around. He's about to get in the ring, but he turns back around, and he decides to punch Trick Williams several times. He's basically beating him up in the corner. Sami then beats the count back into the ring, and Aleister Black hits the Black Mask for the win. I'm not going to lie, when Aleister Black won, I smiled, because I'm like, man, just please, for the love of God. I'm tired of this Sami Zayn thing. People say, oh, you're biased, you don't like Sami Zayn. No, I do like Sami Zayn. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the show being centered around Sami Zayn. Again, as I explained to you guys before, I'm tired of Sami Zayn, this whole underdog thing. Trick Williams deserves this spot. He needs to be in WrestleMania. By the way, I don't want to see Sami Zayn in WrestleMania this year. He has not earned it. The same thing with Ian Dragunov. Carmelo Hayes has earned it. But other than that, no, and no. I don't want to see Sami Zayn versus Aleister Black at WrestleMania. I don't want to see Sami Zayn versus Trick Williams at WrestleMania. Trick Williams versus Carmelo Hayes. That's what needs to be on WrestleMania. And not only that, Sami Zayn literally came over there and started by smacking Trick Williams' feet off of the table, which the crowd was booing you. This guy's a heel, acting like he doesn't know how to be a heel, even though he was a heel. It's just nauseating so far with his booking. It's nauseating. It truly is nauseating. The winner of this match is Aleister Black. Good for Aleister Black. And no, he should not be on the WrestleMania card either. No, he should not. We then head to the back where Matt Cardona tells Nick Aldis that he wants Randy Orton tonight. Nick Aldis says it's not happening after what happened with Drew and Jacob Fatu. Carmelo Hayes then asked Nick Aldis about the open challenge being shut down. Nick Aldis says that it is closed because someone made a good argument for the match, and I roll my eyes again at Ian Dragunov coming to the damn picture, and he says Hayes, he thought about what Hayes said, and he will always be fighting himself. He said that last time, I'm fighting myself, and I'm not confident, and blah blah, just blah 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 blah. He then says he will not be the man unless he takes the shots. Hayes then says someone will be enjoying champagne, the other one will be dealing with pain. Ian Dragunov tells him the pain will entertain. I don't care nothing about this at all. I don't care I don't care nothing about this. I need Carmelo Hayes versus Trick Williams. I don't care about Ian Dragunov. I told you guys, Ian Dragunov does not have a character. What is Ian Dragunov's character? Besides being a damn near strong style wrestler and being a snob with his jacket on and acting like he's better than everybody. And if that's his character, then please let me know that's his character. Please put it in the comments down below what his character is. I'm honestly getting tired of it. They don't know how to book for a damn. Nia Jackson cuts a promo, says it's been years since the Bellas twins tagged up. She then says they have never won a tag title, obviously. Nia then asks what do they think they have a snowball's chance in hell of winning. Lash Legend then says they are the center of the attention. She then says the Bellas are trying to revive their glory days. She then says Bliss and Charlotte, Bayley and Lyra, and the Kabuki Warriors want a shot at them. This is where the show continuously goes downhill after that because I simply just didn't care about their promo. Jade Cargill's music hits. She makes her way down to the ring. Jade says she is not here to play with these people's damn time. So she tells Rhea Ripley to get her ass out here. Rhea Ripley's music then hits. She makes her way down to the ring. Rhea asks if they are going to talk or is she going to do something. Rhea then says they are done talking. Jade then says it is about time. Jade then says it is about what Rhea needs. Jay then says Rhea needs the title. Jay then says she doesn't need the title, the ring, or the fans. Jay then says you have been grinding so hard to be somebody. Jay then says with or without wrestling, she is that bitch. Jay then says she is not here to make friends, she's here to make money. Rhea Ripley finally letting Jade Cargill's personality shine, that she just don't give a damn about the business, which is a little bit I don't think that's true, rather, because she's in it because she wants to be here, but this is actually letting her personality shine. Rhea then says Jade is successful if her goal is to not have friends, which they're basically playing off real life that nobody in the locker room likes her. And by the way, Vince Russo said on Coach and Bro that people are probably jealous of her. And I really think that people in this company are jealous of Jade Cargill because they're not in a spot that she's in, basically. Rhea then says she needs it and she lives for this. Rhea then says she's been doing this since she was 16 years old. Jade then says she does not care about what Rhea has sacrificed and she does not care about the women in the back. Rhea then stops before she lets Jade disrespect her and says this business or anyone else in it. Rhea then says you don't understand the business if you think she needs that title. Rhea then says that title needs her. Rhea then says now she wants that title, so she is going to take that title. Rhea then says this is why she is giving her a big WrestleMania match. Let's pause for a second here. Rhea Ripley, even though I said that Rhea Ripley was needed to face Jade Cargill to have a good WrestleMania match, to bring the best out of Jade Cargill because Rhea Ripley is a constant professional, let's not get this twisted. This is another hole I'm poking in her promo. Let's not get this twisted here. Rhea Ripley needs Jade Cargill because without the Elimination Chamber match and her winning that, she's not facing her for the title. Like, this is Jade Cargill's moment, if you're looking at it from that standpoint. Even though I think at WrestleMania, Rhea Ripley's going to win the title. But you have to look at it from the standpoint of Jade Cargill, like, yo, I'm the champion. You're coming after me because you won the Elimination Chamber. You didn't go after Stephanie Valkyrie because you couldn't, because Liv Morgan already picked her. So basically, this is for Jade. This is Jade's moment to shine. So when she says, welcomes Jade to the big, she says, I welcome you to the big leagues. No, that is true in some form of fashion, but I'm the champion. And that's why the promo don't make sense. Rhea says she wants the title, she's going to take the title. Rhea then says she's going to give her a big WrestleMania match. It didn't matter who won the Elimination Chamber. She was going to get the big WrestleMania match anyway because she was coming into WrestleMania as a champion. And by the way, the bigger match for Jade Cargill is not Rhea Ripley, even though I said she would give her a great match. The bigger match is Bianca Belair. That's the bigger match at WrestleMania for Jade Cargill because, quite frankly, if you look at the reactions online, nobody wants to see Rhea Ripley versus Jade Cargill, damn near except for me because I know that she's going to give her a good match. But this promo don't make sense because, no, this is not the biggest match that she would get. She would have got Bianca Belair, and this would have been an even bigger match because it's Bianca Belair, and everybody adores and loves Bianca Belair. Everybody loves Rhea Ripley, too. But Bianca Belair and her love in the business, you could just see it on Bianca Belair. So this is not the biggest match she was going to get at WrestleMania. It's Bianca Belair, but obviously she's hurt, and we hope that she gets well soon. After that, Rhea Ripley then says, "Welcome, Jade, to the big leagues, bitch." Rhea then tells Jade that she can take the first shot. Jade says no on her own time. Now, let's pause for a second. When Jade says no on her own time, I know that B-Fab is coming out because they were backstage. I made a mistake last week and said that she was talking to somebody else backstage. I said Jade was backstage with somebody else, or B-Fab was backstage with somebody else. I got it confused. She was back there with B-Fab. So I knew, she said on her own time, the way she got out the ring, I said, you know what? B-Fab is going to come out and join Jade Cargill, and then Michin is probably going to come out and be like, oh my God, why'd you do this? Blah, blah, blah. Then nobody's going to care. But, so after that, Jade leaves the ring, and then B-Fab comes out. And Michin comes out, which I wasn't thrilled about. But Michin, they force Jade back into the ring. Jade then smiles. They try to force Jade back in the ring, excuse me. Jade then smiles. They both stand next to her. And now she, Michin, and B-Fab are side by side. Jade's in the middle, B-Fab's on one side, Michin's on the other side. They then get on the apron, and Rhea hits a thrust kick to B-Fab, and Michin hits Rhea Ripley with the kendo stick. Jade then watches while Michin and B-Fab attack Rhea Ripley. They then hold Rhea, and Jade hits a thrust kick, and then after that, Jade hits the Jaded on Rhea Ripley. Now, I have one good thing about this segment and one bad thing. The good thing about this segment is that they're giving B-Fab a chance. I thought they were going to separate B-Fab and Michin because, well, I don't like Michin. And it's not personal. I don't like the way Michin's been booked for all these years. And I'm going to repeat it again. She told you guys what? Me and the crowd don't have a connection. It's hard to connect with the crowd. And ever since then, I've been out on Michin. Now, I've been praising B-Fab because I think she has a great promo. I think she has a very, very nice voice. I love her voice for some reason. I love the way B-Fab talks. I love her voice. Michin, on the other hand, I ain't really too hot on Michin. Again, Michin, rather. I could care less. But now they're having her be a bad guy, or bad girl, rather. And I like it for B-Fab. I don't really care for Michin at all. Again, she doesn't connect with the crowd. I thought that this would be better served if it was just B-Fab with Jade Cargill and Michin stayed as the babyface. Because even though she did really need this change, I care about, this should me be personal. Even though I'm not supposed to be personal, I'm supposed to be unbiased. I don't really care for Michin. I care more about B-Fab and her development because she's still young. And I want her to develop to actually be somebody in the company rather than just wasting her time. She was with the Street Profits. Maybe the Street Profits come back. I don't know what they're going to do with Street Profits. If not, this is a good spot for B-Fab to learn and be on TV every single week with Jade Cargill. Now, this kind of puts a little wrinkle in it because now that you have these women forming together, are you going to take the belt off of Jade Cargill after forming this group at WrestleMania? We'll see. But I love this for B-Fab. Again, I'm unbiased. I don't hate Michin at all. I don't hate her at all. I just don't connect with her, and I just don't see the point of Michin being on TV because it's just blah. It's just bland. It's it's whatever. But let's just see how it's gonna roll out. Again, I'm supposed to be unbiased. I'm not trying to disrespect her personally. Again, she doesn't connect with the crowd. But let's see how it goes with them. Hopefully, they give them something and let Jade Cargill be something different on television now that she can really be a heel and embrace the heel role and have other women supporting her and backing her up, especially B-Fab. I love B-Fab for some reason. I know I'm supposed to be unbiased, but I do love B-Fab for some reason. We then see Kit Wilson backstage, and he says to The Miz that he has the Miz method down to deal with Jelly Roll. Miz then says his family vacation got delayed because of the weather. He then says he had to sit in a middle seat and he got sunburned. Danhausen then shows up and says he will help them against Jelly Jam. Miz says he doesn't want any help from Danhausen, and Ladder then falls behind him. Miz then tells Kit to do it himself. I don't care nothing about this, nothing about Kit Wilson, nothing about The Miz, nothing about Danhausen in this particular segment. The ladder falling behind him because of the curse and him missing the family vacation, blah, 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 is about the whole curse thing. Fine, I get it. I don't care for it. And just as an aside, real quickly, I'm not going to elaborate what I'm saying, but if you guys out there understand me, then you understand what I'm alluding to. I said this last week, I'm going to say it again. Kit Wilson's character, if WWE had somebody on their roster to combat all of the stuff that Kit Wilson is saying, WWE would be in so much hot water that they wouldn't be able to handle it. I'm telling you that. That's why I don't like Kit Wilson's character on television. It's boring. First of all, he's boring. Outside of the stupid stuff that he does on TV, gyrate and stuff like that, it's a boring character, and I don't personally care for Kit Wilson. It's not personal. I'm talking about on the actual show. I don't care about Kit Wilson. I don't care about him being in a tag team. I don't care about being a singles competitor. To me, he's better off in NXT. But his character, I'm going to say it one more time. If there was a character in WWE or a person to combat everything that he's saying that's coming out of his mouth, WWE would be in so much hot water. You guys figure out why. We then see Solo Sikoa and MFT'S backstage. Solo was pissed that they lost the title. Solo then tells the MFT'S they can say goodbye to WrestleMania now because they lost the titles. JC Mateo then says it's on the Wise. He said, no, it's on you guys because you guys lost the titles. Then Tama Tonga comes to him and says, hey, man, you need to give the lantern back to the Wise because you've been acting different ever since then. You're starting to sound like Roman Reigns. He says, what did you say to me? And then Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu continuously fly past him and continues to keep fighting backstage. Drew McIntyre is trying to gouge Jacob Fatu's eyes, and security pulls him apart, and that's it. Again, I don't care about the MFTs. I care about Solo. I care about Tama Tonga Tangaloa being a tag team in the tag team division and being heels in the tag team division. If the MFTs are going to break up, JC Mateo and Hikuleo, I don't really care for them. No disrespect, but I don't care about them. And I want Solo Sikoa to actually go do something, be on his own now. This has been far too long with this storyline. After that, it's announced that Dennis Rodman is going to W Hall of Fame Class 2026, revealed earlier by Sham Sharania, the NBA reporter. And Dragunov makes his way down to the ring for the next match tonight against Carmelo Hayes. After that, we get to the end of the match. Hayes counters with a code red for the win. Carmelo Hayes beats Ian Dragunov. This is a really, really good match by Carmelo Hayes. He did hit his ribs on the announce table when he basically did a flip to the outside, so hopefully he's okay. I knew that Carmelo was going to win. I knew that they weren't going to take the title off him. I told you guys I don't care about Ian Dragunov. To get through this match again, I just want him to face Trick Williams. I'm going to repeat myself the entire time I've been doing this review. I don't care anything about Ian Dragunov. He does nothing for me. He's a great wrestler, but that's all he is a great wrestler. Still the winner, still United States champion is Carmelo Hayes. Carmelo Hayes did a fantastic job. He deserves to be on WrestleMania defending his title against Trick Williams, as I'm repeating myself about the 5th or 6th time saying that again. We then see Jelly Roll congratulate R-Truth and Damian Priest on winning the title. Jelly then stops to talk to Randy Orton. Randy Orton basically said that he was sorry about what happened last week to Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll says that he's worried about Randy Orton. Jelly says that he knows what it's like to be known for being the worst action of your life. Jelly then says, you did the work to change to become a better man, a better father, and everything else like that. He's basically trying to hit Randy Orton's spirit, trying to hit his soul. He then says you need to basically go how to deal with Cardona. Jelly says he will start with Cardona, basically how to deal with what he's going through. Go talk to Cardona. Randy says that he hears Jelly and he tells Jelly that he loves Jelly. Says I love you, and he says I love you back. This was basically Jelly Roll basically motivating Randy Orton to be a better version. I see you being a better husband, a better father. I see you change. Don't let that basically get you back down to where you were. To me, this was awkward as hell because Randy was looking at Jelly Roll like, man, I don't care what you're saying. You could just tell on his facial expression like, man, I don't give a damn what you're talking about, but I'm still playing a character, so I love you, man, but I don't really care about anything that you're saying to me right now. And it was a good backstage thing for Jelly Roll to do. But because Randy Orton right now is in the moment of being a heel, even though a lot of people are saying that he did not turn heel because he's being cheered right now. By the way, at WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes is going to get booed, man. It's going to be really bad. But he's not a heel to the crowd. He's a babyface. So this was a nice little thing. He said, that, you're the guy who had my back at SummerSlam, all this other stuff like that. Randy Orton looked like he could care less. He was trying to act like he cared, but he really didn't care. And you could see it on his face that he didn't care. After that, Kit Wilson's music hits, and he makes his way down to the ring. We then take a look back at Seth Rollins' segment from Raw, with the addition of Brock Lesnar and Oba Femi. After that, Kit Wilson into the ring. Him and Jelly Roll go back and forth. I'm not doing this. This was absolutely awkward as hell. This was they went back and forth talking about Jelly Roll being fat. He came out to want to call for referee. He basically wanted to fight Jelly Roll wants to fight Kit Wilson. Kit Wilson, now I'm going to beat you with poetry. After that, after Jelly Roll said something disrespectful about Kit Wilson's mother, I'm not going over it. It was that stupid. Kit Wilson basically attacked Jelly Roll and laid him out. Now next week we're going to get Kit Wilson versus Jelly Roll. This is absolutely terrible. I don't care about it. People in the crowd laughed. I did not enjoy this at all. I thought it was simply stupid. We then move on to the next segment. We then see Kiana James tell Julia she doesn't have to tell her about what happened. Julia then says that she will deal with Tiffany. Chelsea Green then shows up and says the enemy of the enemy is my friend. Julia then says she doesn't need any help. Lash, Legend, and Nia Jackson push Green's wheelchair away. They make their way down to the ring. We then see Nick Aldis on the phone, and Jelly Roll says he wants Kit Wilson. Nick then gives Jelly Roll a match for next week. As I just said, the Irresistible Forces make their way down to the ring for the next match of the night. Nikki Bella and Brie Bella follow. So towards the end of this match, basically on the outside, Charlotte Flair and Nia Jax get into it, basically calling for disqualification. The referee then calls for the bell. I told you guys that throughout this entire match, that Lash, Legend, and Nia Jax and the Bella Twins, that Bliss and Charlotte Flair were going to interfere in this match. And that's exactly what happened. There's no need to get into it. It was a boring match. Again, no disrespect to the Bella Twins. I like the Bella Twins. I know they're probably going to win the titles at WrestleMania. If I'm the company, I give the Bella Twins their final moment because they never got to have a moment. So at WrestleMania, this would be a nice moment for them. Otherwise, I don't care about any of this multi-person match. I told you guys that the only multi-person match on WrestleMania that I wanted to see is the women's tag team titles. But other than that, I just don't care about it. After that, they won by disqualification with the Irresistible Forces. After the match, Flair sends Nikki into the apron. Nikki then sends Flair into the turnbuckles. Bliss then kicks Brie. She's stomping the hell out of Brie Bella while Flair kicks Nikki. Flair then sends Nikki into the corner by Lash. Nia then splash Bliss and Brie. Lash then holds Flair, and Nia hits a leg drop on the turnbuckles. Again, I don't care nothing about this. This was very, very boring. This entire second hour and third hour has been relatively boring thus far. After that, we didn't see Randy Orton on the phone. He says he's glad he picked up. Randy says he's going to the ring to fix it. And I was watching Coaching Bro with Vince Russo and Jonathan Coachman. Shout out to those guys for that great show. And they were talking about how you have somebody, mystery person on the phone talking to Randy Orton. And he said, you just had Danhausen debut coming out of a box. Why would you then do this again? And I agree with him. Why would you guys do this again? Basically putting a mystery behind the phone. And if it's not somebody who is expected, prepared to be disappointed again. We will see what happens, but let alone be prepared to be disappointed, even though they're not teasing anybody to show up, which is fair. But why would you redo this again? I do not know. So after that, it is announced that next week Jelly Roll faces Kit Wilson. Julia defends her women's U.S. title against Tiffany Stratton, and the Bellas will face Charlotte Flair and Bliss. I do not know why Julia is defending her U.S. title against Tiffany Stratton when this is supposed to be the WrestleMania match. Allegedly, that it was being rumored. So now we're having this match. Kiana James will probably get involved next week. Which, again, what are we doing with this title? Why even have this title in the first place? This show from 9 p.m. until 10:59 p.m. Eastern, or you could say 11 o'clock when it went off the air, has been absolutely dreadful and has been absolutely awful in the last 2 hours. The first hours were decent. The last 2 hours are very, very hard to get through. Randy Orton makes his way back down to the ring with a chair in his hand, the same chair. Randy Orton is in a much more positive mood as he interacts with the fans at ringside, basically selling it that he's acting good again. Randy sits down and he stands up. Randy says he has an apology he has to make to everyone and one to Matt Cardona. Randy then asks Matt to come out there to the ring because he wants to do it in front of everybody. Matt then makes his way down to the ring. Randy says he has been out of his head the last few weeks. Randy then says he's legitimately sorry. Randy then says action figures are cool. Randy then says he plays video games. Randy then says he has known Matt for 20 years. Randy says he is sorry. Randy says next week he has an apology to make to Cody. Randy asks Matt if he will forgive him. He then shakes his hand and goes for a hug. After he hits him with a low blow, he hits him with an RKO. Randy then sends Matt to the floor and punches him on an announce table desk. He then gets the steel steps to do the same thing that he did to Cody Rhodes. He's about to do it to Matt Cardona. The officials come out and stop Randy Orton. By the way, every single week, you guys sending out officials make this unbelievable. It makes it not believable at all. You guys continuously keep sending officials out there. Makes this unbelievable. It's not believable. It's not. Stop sending officials out there. You guys are listening to me when I said stop kicking people out of the building. You guys stopped doing that for the past 2 weeks on Monday and Friday Night SmackDown. This is the second time in the week that nobody's been kicked out. Stop having officials run to the ring. Please. How do they know this is going to happen this fast and how to get out there that fast and how they all going to get together this quickly? This makes no sense. Stop doing it. It's embarrassing. Lord have mercy. Anyway, after they did this, Randy Orton then looks around. After that, he sends him into the ring because he can't do anything with the steel steps because they took it down. He goes to the ring, gets to the chair. He basically tries to crush his arm, but the security pushed him back. After that, Randy Orton pushes everybody out the way. He stomps on Matt Cardona's arm. Basically, to end that particular segment, he stomped on his arm. Matt Cardona is basically squirming around because his arm got basically blasted in the chair. This was good on Randy Orton. They was actually chanting, "Do it one more time." So they love Randy Orton in his new role. After that, this is where the show completely, this is the end of this, but this is where WWE continuously messes up here, and I'm going to tell you why. We then see in the parking lot on the big screen, we see Drew and Jacob Fatu are fighting outside the arena, and Fatu sends Drew against the wall. They are on an unsafe side of the guardrail, and Fatu hits some headbutts. They both fall off the railing to the floor. Nick Aldis asks for a medic, and the show comes to a close. I'm getting ready to go off now. This looks so bad, and I'm going to tell you why. They're out there fighting. First of all, when Randy Orton's walking up the aisle, and he's looking at Nick Aldis, these guys are fighting. It pops up on the big screen. So Nick Aldis and those guys are running backstage. The camera's following them backstage. They get backstage. You know what they catch that they weren't supposed to catch? Nick Aldis and everybody stops backstage and just stands there, and they cut right away and go backstage. And you see Nick Aldis and these guys running out. So I'm like, why did you guys stop? Why did they stop? They didn't even know that they showed us that. They then stopped. Then they cut to the scene of them running out there. And by the way, some of the officials that he was with didn't look like the same officials. I don't know, because I didn't really get to see some of their faces, but it seems like it was less than what was out there. They get out there. The fence is covering where Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu are standing on the railing. The fence is covering so you can't see it. So when they're fighting each other, Drew McIntyre's about to go down, but he grabs Jacob Fatu and pulls him down, and now they're saying call the medic and the ambulance. This is absolutely a horrible way to end the show. I'm not supposed to be, it's supposed to be, well, we're going to end the show like this. Oh my gosh. It's supposed to be a cliffhanger. This cliffhanger was absolutely terrible. Why was it terrible? Because if you can't see where they're landing, it looks fake. That means that you had mats back there and that we couldn't see it. So stop telling me to suspend my disbelief if you're going to make it seem like I can't see where they're landing at. This show for the last 2 hours is absolutely terrible. They try to give you a good thing at the end, and it wasn't good at all. This SmackDown again was absolutely terrible. WrestleMania is less than 30 days away, and we only have 5 matches confirmed. And out of these 5 matches, the only match that I really want to see is Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. CM Punk and Roman Reigns have to get it back together in order to get me. Stephanie Raquel, Liv Morgan again. I don't really care for that. Jake Cargill and Rhea Ripley. Let's see what they do with BFAT, but this has not been good this entire time. Oba Femi and Brock Lesnar, we'll see what they do. And the rest of the show, is not really basically filled out yet. Again, this show is absolutely garbage for the last 2 hours. The first hour was decent. I give it a D+. I was going to give it a C-, but the last hour was truly dreadful, and it was absolutely terrible. So let me know in the comment section down below how you guys felt about SmackDown tonight. Let me know if you guys agree with me that the show was basically horrible for the last 2 hours, if it was decent for the first hour, or you guys disagree that you guys thought the show was fine. Let me know your comments and opinions down below. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content headed your way. Until next time, guys, see you real soon.